Hello Tubesters, it's Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. Today we will be having a look at the final reveal on this 54mm resin figure from Medieval Forge Miniatures. It's a musketeer from Europe in the 17th century. I've probably put him more at the the early 1600s. I've painted him to represent a musketeer, maybe a Dutch musketeer in the war in the Spanish Netherlands, for obviously Dutch resisting the Spanish in that area. So the figure went together great. There was no issues, there was no fit issues whatsoever. I didn't have a problem on that score. It took primer well, and I've painted him in acrylics, a mixture of Scale75 and a few Vallejos as well. So I'll exchange the box for the figure itself. It's not a huge thing to show, as I say. It's just on a small plinth. I have got some photographs at the end of the video, so let's have a look in closer detail at this guy if we can. First of all, the overall figure itself, before we do a close-up. It comes with from the base. It comes with a resin base. The resin base is rectangle or lozenge type shape. I've broadened it out slightly with some epoxy putty, just to make a few extra blocks there. I've added some. I can't remember what this stuff is. It's from MIG Ammo Productions, but I'm using it as dry straw anyway on the ground, so it just wasn't a big patch of grey. The only thing, and it's not the miniatures, the sculpting's fault, it's just mine. I pinned this, and the musket rest here was just very, very slightly. I had to play around to where to get the fit on the figure onto the base, because I've not used the original holes, and obviously it threw the dimensions very slightly off, only by probably a millimetre or so, and a bit of super glue in there, or a bit of white glue, sorted the problem. The musket is only very delicately posed on there. I've used some white glue in the end, because obviously I've painted these in sub-assemblies. If you try and paint it with the pistol, say, on and all the other accoutrements, you're on a hiding to nothing really, trying to get stuff sorted. So the only thing I'd do in retrospect, looking at it under with the extra lights, is I'd probably put a bit more wash, which I'll probably do on this bit of chain here. But apart from that, I'm happy with everything. Tried to do a bit of unity with the paint, so we're looking at blue as the main colour. I didn't particularly want the feathers to be exactly the same colour as the trousers, but just to show some blue in there. Obviously the orange for the House of Orange. I couldn't really get away with the duck not being orange-legged. In the artwork you'll see it's like a mallard brown, and I've gone for more of an Aylesbury white duck. As if I know my ducks, but hey, it's an Aylesbury anyway. I don't know if they had Aylesbury's in the Low Country, but they have now. I've given the guy grey hair. His bandana is blue as well. What I don't like to do with figures is to have too many colours. If as in like just one colour. If there's one colour on there, I like to put two or three. It's just less of a distraction, if that makes sense. But I also didn't want to put, say, these tassels as orange, because it would have been a bit overpowering. So I've gone for a yellow with those. Face was a nice face. Giving him a look to try and get the figures. I mean, he's got his head turned that way anyway, but if you give your eyes a look to the right or left, it doesn't give it so much of a cross-eyed look. Again, the metalwork is obviously true metallics, and they've just been dulled down with some I believe they were AK washes, enamel washes of different types. The only problems I had, which were again one of my own making, I snapped off one of the protectors here of the guards here on the dagger, but I managed to, luckily it was where I could find it, and it super glued that back on. A very slight flex in the sword. Again, that's probably me more than, as in I couldn't get it any straighter. The legs, the box arts have got them wearing socks, but I've decided to have them without. Now let's get a bit closer. Again, the photographs will probably look slightly better than this, but that's his little face. Really pleased. It's a beautiful, figure. It's got a lot to it. As I say, you've got your duck and the swords, and as I say, it can always be a bit troublesome with this thin type of resin. That you do see somewhere swords and muskets are all out of shape, and this wasn't. Very, very slight kink, which I have tried to do with some warm water, but I'm more or less happy with that. But no, I picked this out of a whole group of figures I saw on a supplier on the internet. It just attracted me to what you could do with it. Again, the base, I didn't want to go over the top with it. On these type of bases, I don't like them too busy, because I like to think, you've got to give a bit of context what he's doing, where he is, but I like not to have too much of a busy base. It's not a diorama at the end of the day when they're on these plinths. It is just it's to show the figure off. So yeah, I'm very happy with him. So all he's got to do, my wife's printed me a label off because I'm useless at that type of thing. So he'll have his printed label on the old MDF plinth that he sat on. I can't tell you where I got that from. It's one of the eBay suppliers, but I usually have to go to different. These seem to be like short run, these plinths. You'll get a batch of them and then they disappear from eBay, and you have to try and find somebody else. But this was the last one, so I'm having to invest. And they're not particularly cheap, £6 or £8 a piece. Usually about £8. Done a bit of sweat on his hat there, sweatband. Well, not sweatband, but you know what I mean. You often see these type of felt hats, with the dark sweat on them. I like to give him, again, he's had a lighter hat and it pulls in a bit with the duck and the shirt. So guys, thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look at this figure. As figures go, I've got a small Airfix figure from a fellow YouTuber sent me. I'm going to be doing a separate video on that one, so I'll mention him and the channel and all the rest of it when I do that. So I've got that to do. I'm undecided. I've got the Turkish figure I can paint, the Great War Turkish figure. I might put him in the production line. I'm not sure yet. I was thinking of probably leaving him to when I've unboxed the yeomanry mounted figure from the same period, and he actually comes it can be used as a vignette. So I might, just so I know that I'm tying in the colours and that, I might leave that for the moment until I've actually got the one for that at Christmas. And I also have another Medieval Forge miniatures. I've got a bust as well for Christmas. Again, I'm not allowed to do anything with that one either. So I've got a Soviet fighter pilot bust from the Second World War to do at some stage. But I'll give you a look at him sometime after Christmas when I'm allowed to actually get my hands on it. So guys, thank you very much for stopping by and taking a look. The figures, apart from the Airfix figure, the figures I'll probably be having a go at next are the Otto Karajas figure with his NCO, because I've got a small Tamiya vehicle to put alongside that, and I might try and do a diorama with that. So he probably will be up next. So thank you very much guys for stopping by and taking a look. I hope you're forging ahead with your projects and everything's going well with you guys, and we will catch each other as usual very soon on another video. Cheers.